I'm Allendale's chief meteorologist Ryan Martin with a look at your midday weather update. Surface analysis right now shows low pressure still hanging back in the Great Plains, southern South Dakota. We've got some surface troughs coming out of that low. Nothing spectacular, though. Basically, what we've got is a continuation of strong flow, south and southwest flow, out of the southern plains and across the entirety of the Corn Belt, coming up the backside and across the top side of high pressure. Honestly, that strong high has been parked over eastern parts of Kentucky and Tennessee for the past 3 days. Doesn't look like it's going to be moving anytime soon. The warm and humid air has been responsible for triggering hit-and-miss thunderstorms over the past few days. Yesterday was in parts of central, southern, eastern Indiana. Today we're seeing some in Ohio, and we're also seeing a nice little cluster of showers and storms in northern parts of Missouri, then up into Wisconsin, eastern parts of Minnesota. Iowa had some action earlier. It's kind of quiet now, but with this warm air, this is the same kind of setup that we're going to be seeing. Pop-up action, maybe hitting 10, 15, in some cases maybe 20% of the Corn Belt area, but it never does much more than that. We've got this setup going all the way through Sunday, so it's the same kind of deal that we talked about earlier this week, yesterday, and back into Monday. Now, as we go into the later stages of the weekend, especially the holiday weekend early next week, so from late Sunday right on through early Tuesday, we're going to be looking at a nice organized front working its way through. Should bring rains on the order of a quarter to 1 inch. I'm not changing my rainfall totals there. 60 to 70% coverage, not changing that either. I do think that the front today looks slightly better than yesterday, but this is the time period where models flip-flop back and forth. One day it'll look good, one day it won't look as good. Back and forth we go. The simple thing is the front is there. It's going to be passing through, and if it brings any kind of cooling at all, taking temperatures back down to near normal, we will see moisture get wrung out. We think the heaviest rains will be along and north of I-80, kind of like we laid out earlier this week, but we can see rains everywhere. We'll follow that up with nearly normal temperatures for a good chunk of next week. Another front around the 11th will come through, but the models are now kind of zeroing in on its track a bit more. This front may not have as good of moisture capability up over the upper Midwest and into Iowa. Might actually do better from Missouri across Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. That's the way some models are playing it. We're seeing more model consensus or model agreement on that kind of solution right now. So still looking at moisture. I would also say quarter to 3/4 of an inch is the way to play it. I am going to take coverage down to about 50 to 60% though from what we had been talking, which was 60 to 70, just to basically kind of give a nod to the change in track, change in development out of that system. Real interesting things happening, though, in the far extended panels. The GFS model especially going nuts with a reverting back to a trough ridge scenario. Big ridge in the west, big trough in the east. As a matter of fact, it's digging a monster trough in for about the 15th, 16th, 17th. If the GFS is right, we're going to be looking at major cool air coming across the Corn Belt, the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes, so much so that I'm sure somebody's going to throw the frost word out. Now, I will also say I don't believe that for a minute. I don't think we're going to be seeing the temperatures get that cool. I think this is a way overdone scenario put forth by the GFS model. I also know how a lot of people in the industry watch that model, and it seems to get talked about a lot. So just putting you on notice, you're probably going to hear some talk like that. I also am looking for this model to kind of rein itself in as we go through the next few days. Yes, trough in the east, ridge in the west kind of pattern. Yes, warmer in the west, a little bit cooler in the east as we head through mid-month and into the second half of the month, but I don't think we need to go overboard here just yet. That's the way things are stacking up. Have a great rest of your afternoon. If you've got any questions on the weather, give us a call at Allendale. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin.